Greetings, One Dao Kung Fu family, and all global Wing Chun internal arts enthusiasts. My name is TJ, and today I would like to share my understanding of the Wing Chun stance, not just as a shape, but as a power mechanism. The stance is not decorative. It is designed. It is designed to combine the lower half of the body and the upper half of the body into a single engine so that attack and defense protect the center simultaneously. Now, when I look at the stance, I see three things immediately: alignment, even pressure, and forward intention. So first, alignment. Heels slightly out, toes gently pointing directly towards the center power plane, knees bent but not collapsed, hips slightly forward. This knee, hip, shoulder form a vertical relationship. There is a bowed line from heel through the knee, through the hip, to the shoulder. And that line matters because structure carries power, right? When the knees bend properly, the body doesn't drop randomly. It settles. There's almost a feeling of sitting without sitting, lowering without collapsing. Now, when I train this at home, I measure my stance very carefully. Heels out, gently tracking toward the toe, spine tall, but relaxed. Then I check the pressure in my feet. Not too far forward, not too far back. If I lean forward, I lose balance. If I lean too far backward, I disconnect from my center. Instead, I feel even pressure across the feet, a slight natural suppression into the ground. It feels kind of awkward at first, but that awkwardness is actually intelligence forming in the stance itself. Now, this stance is not meant for walking around casually. You know, its primary function is to channel whole body power. That's the key. Whole body power. When the legs bend correctly and the toes angle inward, the entire lower body points toward the center line. The legs no longer act interdependently. They become connected to the torso. And this is where something beautiful happens. Even someone smaller, older, or less physically strong can still generate meaningful power. Why? Because the power does not come from muscular effort. It comes from the Nim Tao state. Body mass, momentum, and structure working together. When the knees are bent and aligned and the body is slightly forward, the mass of the body is ready to move towards center. It's not aggressive, it's directed. And there is the difference. When I lift my leg from this stance, it naturally wants to return to center. It naturally drops into structure. That means attack and defense are already organized. They are calibrated. When I sit into the stance properly, I feel ready, not stuck, ready to move, ready to advance, ready to stabilize. Now, the forwardness is subtle. It's not leaning, not chasing, just trained intention toward the center. The stance teaches the legs to generate momentum without telegraphing effort. It trains connection, it trains alignment, it trains readiness. And perhaps most importantly, it trains the feeling that power comes from below. When the lower body is organized, the upper body becomes light. When the stance is correct, the arms don't need to try so hard. The body supports the action. So for me, the stance isn't about bending the knees and pointing the toes inward altogether. It's about building a foundation that channels power more efficiently. It's about sitting into readiness. And it's about aligning heel, knee, hip, and shoulder so that the entire body becomes one singular unit. And when all of that happens properly, even stillness feels super powerful. Now, I'm going to offer some exercises that will help train and improve your Wing Chun stance. So, exercise 1, basic triangular stepping and center awareness. So, we begin by just getting comfortable with that triangle. Step forward, step back. Move naturally with your stance. Don't overthink it, just feel the geometry. As you move, keep your body upright. No dipping, no collapsing. Just stay lifted through the spine. Now, the goal here isn't speed, it's orientation. Train your body to keep pointing to that center as you shift forward and back. Simple, direct, step, return, maintain alignment. You're teaching your structure to move without losing its targeting. Easy enough on that one. Exercise 2, tracking with the stance. Now we keep the same natural stepping, forward, back, and maybe moving around a little. But this time, imagine you're tracking someone, as if an opponent is in front of you and your stance is following them. Your face, your chest, your hips, your knees, and toes all point in the same direction. Everything advances together. When they shift, you adjust. When they move, you track. No twisting the feet outward, no letting the knees drift, no casual street walking posture. You know, most people walk with their toes flared and their body all disconnected. So in this training, your structure stays unified. You know, imagine your toes and knees are always aiming directly at the person you're tracking. Your whole body is centered toward their center. It should feel ready, alert, and most importantly, balanced. Not tense, just aligned and capable of moving at any moment. This keeps the triangulation, but now it has intent behind it. So thank you very much for taking the time to watch this video on stance, structure, and a little bit of syncing. And I'll see you in my next Wing Chun curriculum video on the Wing Chun guard. Peace, love, and Kung Fu, all you Wing Chun warriors.